Katie Symons. I'll come to you first, Vicky.
Hello.
Welcome.
I'm going to talk about cycleways. So, my name's Katie Symons. I've lived in Christchurch now for 15 months with my family. As you might be able to tell, I'm from the UK. We did live in Christchurch as a family for 6 months in 2013. So, before I came here in 2017, I was already familiar with the benefits of living in Christchurch, and one of those benefits to me was the ease of getting around the city by bike. So I wanted to take this opportunity to express the support for the work that you've done in the 5 years since I first came to Christchurch, encourage you to continue to prioritise cycling investment, and talk a little bit about why I think it's important, my experience, and how I think it can really help make Christchurch a city of choice in New Zealand. So I own a few bikes, but I do also own a car, but I choose to cycle to work for my daily commute, about 5 kilometres. I make that choice because it's good for my health, as well as good for the society and the planet. It's pleasant, it's enjoyable, it's cheaper, it's definitely faster than going by car, but also it's safe. And that's really important. But I also know that I'm really lucky that I can say that. 80% of my route to work is on dedicated cycle lanes. It's off-road. It's part of the unicycle major cycle route and the paths through Hagley Park. I really wish more of my colleagues had access to similar infrastructure to allow them to cycle to work, because unfortunately I know that from talking to them that personal safety is a big factor in why most of them opt to drive to work, even though quite a few of them are quite keen recreational cyclists. So I think the general benefits of cycling-friendly cities are pretty well known. I'm sure you're all familiar with them, major ones being low pollution, low congestion. I'm lucky to have experienced it firsthand because I lived in Copenhagen in Denmark for 9 months. I've really experienced the value that living in a city that's fully converted to cycling is, that brings, and what a great place it is to live. But I could also see that what made it work, and one of the things that made it work is making sure the network was fully integrated, and there's various other peripherals like giving priority to good cycle parking facilities and things like that. I lived in Cambridge in the UK for 17 years before I came here. So Cambridge is a city in the UK that's got the highest rate of journeys done by bike. It was a really hard, very hard to leave our home there, as well as family and our jobs. It was also a really great place to live. But knowing that Christchurch was also an easy place to get around by bike was definitely a consideration that my husband and I took into account when we made the decision to come to Christchurch. And if it hadn't been, perhaps we might not have come. And I just want to sort of highlight that if you want to continue to attract people to the city and make it a better place to live for all residents, let's maintain the investment that you've been making in cycling infrastructure. There's a global trend towards sustainable living, sustainable cities, and being a cycling city is, I think, a key selling point that Christchurch has over cities like Sydney, dare I say, even Auckland. I've got 3 children. They're aged 6, 8 and 3. They all love cycling. They all ride their own bikes. They can all ride their own bikes from our house into the CBD. Sometimes we take them on longer rides on tandems and trailers and things. But and recently they had their grandparents visit from the UK. We had 3 generations in our family cycling around a city. And I just think that's amazing. I think it's hard to do anywhere in the world, let alone any other city in New Zealand. So let's really celebrate that here. So in summary, I just want to congratulate you on your work on the major cycle routes. I think it's fantastic. Be aware of the noise from opponents from cycling investment. There's a phrase, don't confuse noise with numbers. If you continue to build safe, efficient cycling infrastructure that takes people where they want to go, it'll be used and people will opt to use a bike rather than a car. Really urge you to recognise the opportunity for Christchurch to be an exemplar cycling city, and the important contribution that can make towards making the New Zealand city of choice. So really urge you all to continue the investment you've done in cycling infrastructure. Don't leave the job half done, please. Give more people from everywhere in the city a real choice to travel safely by bike. And as my kids grow up here in Christchurch, I hope their opportunities to cycle safely in the city will grow as well.
Well, look, thank you very much, and that's just absolutely spot on in terms of time, so it's no time for questions. So look, thank you very much for your contribution. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Katie.
All right, we have a 10-minute break until 11 o'clock. Because I mean, I see Derek's arrived, so we could move straight on to that one if people would prefer. Yep, would they? Okay, so Derek